If you want to know if somebody's getting like in the Illuminati or being tested, is a lot of black comedians, they put them in a dress. Cat Williams interview and he was like breaking everything down with like the Illuminati and all that shit. So pretty much what he said was almost every single black comedian has put on a dress. Now one of them being Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart even made a joke about it. Yo, I'll never be put in a dress. I'll never be put in a dress. This and that. Fam, Kevin Hart ended up in a dress.
Really?
Yeah.
Why though?
So it's part of what they call like a humiliation ritual, right? If you look back at every single comedian, especially the ones that were popping for their generation, when they're on their way up, that's when they make them do it. Now, one of the biggest ones being, but before continuing, I wanted to warn you guys that phones were being spied on. Click on this icon, then on more. If you see it, delete it immediately. One of the biggest ones being Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle didn't. He didn't, but that was when he had to leave Hollywood, remember? Because he knew like there's something going on.
So this farmer in Australia entered this race, a long race. No one's ever been able to beat it in 7 days. And he's just this old man farmer. Everyone was like mocking him because he was just wearing like, everyone had like their elite, nice sportswear, nice running shoes. And he just went out there with like a t-shirt, just some shorts that he like probably found in a thrift store and some sneakers.
Sneakers!
He started running last place right off the bat. But this dude just kept on running.
He didn't take any breaks, right?
No breaks.
Because everyone else took like...
And he finished the race in 5.5 days.
Insane.
Literally a day and a half before anyone else finished.
And was he a trained runner?
No, they went back and like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
On his farm, he's also like a shepherd, and all his sheep and stuff, when he brings them through like the mountains and stuff, he's literally running with them for days at a time.
Craziness.
Wow.
So his endurance was insane.
All natural, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's
I'm just out here chasing the sheep
In my sneakers.
in my sneakers.
Whoa.
It's not a walkabout.
Oh.
It's a runabout. Hey.
My wife was extremely jealous. I couldn't talk to a guy or a girl without my wife saying, hey, I wonder if he wants to sleep with that person. I didn't have any friends. I didn't speak to my family for a really long time while I was married. I had no relationship with my mother or father. My wife and my daughters were my world, and my wife wanted it that way. We'll have a movie night. Since my wife's passed away, I've got myself a girlfriend who had 2 children. It was the 6 of us living in the house for a little while. Susan, my girlfriend, heard a couple things here and there that she can't explain. There was one time, Susan was standing in the kitchen and she heard a voice behind her whisper her name. I think that was my wife messing with me. That was her way of saying, hey, I'm still here and I'm still around. It scared me. She did basically the same thing I did. She wrote it off and she didn't want to come to me and say, hey, I think your wife's in the house, or I think there's a ghost in the house. So she didn't say anything to me. We moved out of that house. Being that the house was empty, I decided to rent the house out. And I rented it to a couple who moved in. They only lived there for 2 weeks. They asked me if anybody had died in the house. I says, why, what's going on? Like, what kind of things did you hear? He says to me, well, around 11 o'clock, the kitchen cabinet door slammed. When he said that to me, like the hair on my arm stood up. Because, one, he didn't know my wife passed away in the house. I didn't tell them. My wife passed away at 11:07 p.m. in the kitchen. So when he said 11 o'clock and the fact that kitchen cabinet door slammed, that's where I was like, whoa, what's going on?
This technology displayed in this video, never seen it used in this application.
This is attached to a pedestal, which is screwed onto the participant's skull. When Anne was 30 years old, she had a stroke.
And how's it going?
It is good to see you.
That's the first time we've ever had a conversation.
Wow.
So she's paralyzed. She can't speak at all.
Yep.
Since 30.
That application is dope.
Changing people's
giving them a
lives.
voice.
But I'm also terrified that they understand the human brain to that capacity that they can just put something on it and literally know exactly what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally a mind reading thing.
It's a
And-
mind
and-
reader.
Wow.
Is that not like the Neuralink thing? Just like
probably
Nike and
gonna
Adidas, like 2 different brands. Which one are you going to go with?
Yeah.
Would you
Like
get
how-
an implant in your brain?
You know, if I was blind and it said, yeah, it'll cure blindness, yeah, for sure.
True that.
Not now, though? Like, if you could have, like,
Computer
download...
in your head.
Yeah, would you do that?
That's scary.
Doctor, come in.
But I mean, what if they're tricking you?
Oh, yeah. It's like someone has to have control of it, just like how they can control cars. Somebody to pass powers or something like that, or a company to buy that company and start slowly... Small stuff while you're sleeping, dude.
There are 10 heavens in the book of Enoch. Some of the beings Enoch seen in the higher levels of heaven frightened Enoch so much that he fell down in terror. The first heaven is directly above the firmament. The firmament is described as some kind of barrier surrounding the earth that has another body of water above it that is bigger than every ocean on earth, according to the Book of Enoch. The second heaven is a prison for the fallen angels. The third heaven Enoch saw was a heaven full of paradise for the righteous people. However, there is also another side of this heaven that is similar to hell, and it's for the unrighteous people. The fourth heaven is where the solar and lunar tracks are. This means Enoch seen how all the astrological constellations operated. The fifth heaven is where the watchers are. These are the angels that mated with humans and made the Nephilim giants and demons. The watchers are described as looking like humans, but giant in comparison. The sixth heaven has 7 groups of archangels. They are described as being extremely bright beings that are even brighter than the sun. The seventh heaven was so frightening to Enoch that he literally began trembling with fear. In this heaven, he seen the fiery armies of the archangels, the seraphim, the cherubim, the dominions, the origins, the authorities, and the many-eyed thrones, and even more angels. We don't know most of the angelic races I named, however, we can just imagine how frightening this was. The 8th heaven is where the seasons are changed. The 9th heaven is where the zodiac is contained. And the 10th and last heaven has God himself present. Enoch describes God's face as being supremely awesome and supremely frightening. There are also cherubs and seraphim angels singing in this heaven. Did you know?
Fuck off. Hello? Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. I'm hearing some fucking weird shit, man. I need to get out of here. So the story goes, Sally was a young girl that lived here. She was murdered in the house and buried in the woods behind. As I was saying, this is probably one of the most haunted locations we've ever done. We're just gonna check up the upstairs. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Hello? No way. Someone's flooding the basement. Oh my god. Oh my. Where the fuck do you go? Oh. Fuck that. Wow. No. What the fucking hell was that?
In this video, you are attacked by flesh-eating monsters.
Hey, this is nice. Oh my god. Why you look like that? Sir, are you okay? Oh! Oh my god! Run! Oh yeah, just stand there and back slowly. Dang! Say, at least somebody got some common sense. Oh yeah, she dead. Or not? You gonna... Oh, no. Hey.
The Rothschilds, more specifically Lord Jacob Rothschild, recently passed away on February 26 at the age of 87. Just hearing that name, Rothschild, might make some people think, oh, evil, rich, Illuminati, corrupt, New World Order, Freemason. But do you even know who they are and how they made their money? They started off as a relatively normal family, just trying to make ends meet and grow a business almost 300 years ago, with Amschel Moses Bauer opening a accounting house in Frankfurt, Germany in 1743, the early version of an accounting firm. Above the door outside his office was a sign with an eagle and a red shield on it. And the office came to be locally known as the Red Shield Firm, translated to German, Rote Shield, which eventually got shortened to Rothschild. Origin story right here. Amschel passed his business down to his son Meyer, who changed his last name from Bauer to Rothschild after the store. And this is where it all begins. Meyer was pretty business savvy and just hungry to make it big, so he wanted to scale hard. His dad's business mainly dealt with bookkeeping, dealing coins, and lending money to average Joes. Until one time he scored a lending job with the government government and got paid a fat bag for it. So he doubled down on that, focusing all of his efforts on lending money to governments and kings, which was way more profitable than lending to citizens. The loan amounts were astronomically bigger than average folk for obvious reasons, but the real cherry on top was that these loans were secured by the people, the taxpayers of the country. So when a regular Joe takes out a loan and can't pay it in time, they default on it, and the loaner is left chasing after Joe until they can pay it back. Government loans are backed by taxpayer money. A government will always have a virtually endless supply of money rolling in from collected taxes that they can use to pay off their loans. So they can just raise taxes in their country to get more money if they're ever a little short on paying off a loan. In this sense, governments can never lose, and neither do people who loan them money. You always hear of governments in debt trillions of dollars and might be asking yourself, in debt to who? That would be to central banks, who arguably modeled this structure of non-stop government loaning from the original Rothschild firm. A bit of an infinite money glitch that won't end well for us. Meyer saw big bucks flowing in from this business model, so he taught his 5 sons his methods and sent them on an expedition across Europe to Germany, England, France, Austria, and Italy to set up similar counting houses in each. Rinse and repeat. They quickly rose to power and became the richest bankers in each country, having more money than all other banks in those countries combined. Clearly, this strategy was working beautifully. At the time, one business owning banks in multiple different countries was unheard of, and they definitely made the most of it. Doing shit like funding both sides of the war and Napoleon's conquest, which is no secret, meaning they probably did the same for the world wars and even conflicts happening today. They helped Brazil pay for its liberation from Portugal, saved the Bank of England from collapse by bailing them out. Just imagine being so rich that the most powerful country in the world at the time comes asking you for money. Pretty much funded the industrialization of America, which was a barren land of cowboys, log cabins, and natives at the time, and also helped Britain buy the Suez Canal, which connects the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean. When Britain issued the Balfour Declaration in 1917, announcing its support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people, Israel, it was addressed to Lionel Walter Rothschild, who also helped fund this move. So what's their secret? How do they keep this generational wealth growing so steadily over the centuries? Well, when Meyer, the OG businessman behind the government loans, passed away, he outlined a very specific system in his will, in which the wealth can only get passed down the male line of lineage, meaning females who married outside the family were completely left out of the money. I think you know where this is going. Because of this rule in his will, all future descendants had a tendency to marry within the family, mostly their second or even first cousins and the occasional niece. And that's exactly how they kept it within the family to this day. It's speculated that a Rothschild may actually be the real richest person in the world, counting in the trillions, using intentional tricks of the trade like asset hiding, trust funds, and shell companies to hide their true wealth. So while everyone's focused on Musk versus Bezos battling it out head to head for the richest person title, the real top dog is quietly sitting in the shadows, tapping their fingers together, thinking of their next move.
So these are the 5 most disgusting crimes committed by rock stars. Number 5, G.G. Allen. He was best known for degenerate live performances where he would physically and assault members of the audience. But don't worry, it gets worse, because as a part of his routine, he would also swallow laxatives and defecate on stage. He would smear vomit and feces all over his own face and throw it into the crowd, and you'd probably find it hard to believe his birth name was Jesus Christ. Number 4, Carl Logan, the former guitarist of Manowar. In 2018, he was found to have multiple recordings of young people being assaulted. He was sentenced for 1 year in prison. The band immediately cut all ties with him, but it damaged their reputation forever. Number 3, Varg from Mayhem. Besides being involved in burning down several churches, Varg killed his bandmate by stabbing him 23 times. According to him, it was self-defense because his bandmate was plotting to kill him, but this photo is taken as he received his 21-year sentence, and he looks hauntingly proud of his actions. Number 2, Chuck Berry. Hey, you know that new sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this! Chuck Berry was convicted for transporting a 14-year-old girl across state lines for immoral purposes. Later, he was sued by several women for installing cameras in the women's bathroom to his restaurant, resulting in a conviction for voyeurism. Maybe Johnny not be that good after all? Number 1 is one of the most depraved crimes in existence. Before I get to it, if you like fucked up shit like this, please drop me a follow, it really helps me out. Number 1 is Ian Watkins from Lost Prophets. Watkins was convicted of depraved sexual offenses. The charges include conspiracy to engage in sexual activity with a 1-year-old girl, SA of a 13-year-old girl, as well as possession of lots of indecent images of children and animal pornography. He's currently serving a 29-year sentence. Here are 5 people that somehow survived certain death. Number 5, Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker. Barker was in a plane that skidded off the runway and went up in flames. Somehow, Travis Barker and his DJ friend were the only 2 survivors of the crash, both suffering severe burns and being hospitalized for 11 weeks. Number 4, Anatoly Bugorsky stuck his head in a particle accelerator. In 1978, he accidentally let a high-energy proton beam from a particle accelerator pass through his head. This should have killed him pretty quickly. It was over 10 times more than a fatal dose of radiation. Doctors brought him into hospital to die peacefully, but instead, his face swelled up, he lost his hearing in one ear, had a few minor seizures, but is still alive today. Number 3 is Phineas Gage. So an explosion went off and shot an iron rod through this man's skull, taking a huge chunk of his brain with it. But he did turn from a fairly mild-mannered guy into basically an all-out asshole. Yeah, that's understandable. Number 2, this man's real-life Rambo stunt. During a 6-hour, one-man rescue mission in Vietnam, Roy Benavidez was shot and stabbed 37 times, including one point where he was stabbed by a soldier, took the knife out of himself, and put it directly into the soldier that got him. He later jumped on a helicopter landing skid holding in his intestines, and at one point he was pronounced dead and put in a body bag, and as the doctor went to zip the body bag up, Roy spat in his face to let him know he was still alive. Hardcore. Number 1 is insane, and if you like this sort of shit, please just drop me a follow. It really helps me keep making these videos. Number 1 is this guy, Alcides Moreno. He was washing windows with his brother on a New York City skyscraper. Suddenly, their platform malfunctioned and they plummeted 47 stories. Alcides not only survived, but was completely coherent and conscious when the paramedics arrived. His brother, not so lucky, landed on a fence and was severed completely in half.
Yo, but what I say about Sprite, it's actually clear.
Well, like,
not,
what do you
not
mean
the
by
drink, but like the bottles are clear now. You back that?
Yeah, it's always been like that.
No, what are you talking about? It used to be green, fam.
Like, you couldn't see through it? No.
No, it used to be green bottle. You don't remember Sprite coming in a green bottle?
No, it always no.
Mandela
no,
effect.
Look. This
That's
is how
a mod Mandela effect.
No, this I'll explain it. Green cap.
Yeah.
Transparent bottle.
Yeah, but it's green. It's a green transparent bottle.
Oh.
Yo,
when, fam?
You're tripping. They changed it though. They changed it.
Yeah,
it's clear now.
I swear it's always been clear though.
No.
But it had the green label.
You could spot out a you could spot out a Sprite QuickTime because by the
That's Coke. You think about Coke.
What are you talking about? Coke is clear and red. Look,
fuck, bro.
Look, it was this.
No, I only remember. I'm gonna lie.
Stop.
Not even trolling.
Yo, stop.
Do you know mermaids are actually biblical? I will explain what one of the most important missing books from the Bible says about mermaids, and why throughout history there have been countless sightings of what is believed to be a mythical creature known as the mermaid. These creatures have been documented in several ancient cultures, with each culture labeling the beings with different names. However, they each possess the same overt appearance. So we must begin asking ourselves how real these creatures actually are. And when we do, we can find the answer because there is a secret missing book that's a part of the Bible that speaks about mermaids and who they actually are. Let me explain. There were 2,000-year-old biblical scrolls found in a cave in Qumran, and these scrolls are known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient scrolls contain the biblical text we know of today, including the book of Genesis and the book of Isaiah, to name a few. However, there was one book that was completely hidden from the Bible for decades. This book is known as the Book of Enoch. This book adds on to the topics the Holy Bible doesn't go into depth with, such as the biblical creatures.
This gorilla, before he was gonna die, he had a final message to the world.
Like Harambe? Was this Harambe?
No.
Okay.
So this gorilla's name is Coco. Oh, Coco the gorilla. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I heard of Coco the gorilla.
So Coco the gorilla had a final message to the world.
What was it?
And here, I'll show you what it is. It's mad deep, bro. Listen. So pretty much he says, I am flowers, I am nature. Coco love man. Earth, Coco love. But man, stupid. And look, he's crying. You can see the gorilla's crying. He's stupid again. He says stupid. Coco sorry. Coco cry. Time hurry. Fix Earth. Help Earth.
Oh, that's crazy.
And he says hurry, protect Earth.
Nah.
So this is before he was gonna die.
Oh, what the heck?
Dude, this is weird. Bunch of handprints all over the wall. But there's like crap all over the floor here. This is wild. It's like they knew they were gonna leave. Oh, what? Yeah, dude. Dude, scrappers tried to... Either that's mold or from scrappers. But someone cut the copper in this house, I think. This one's bad.
That's a TV.
Should we see?
It might be a deterrent.
Yeah, let's send it. Let's send it.
In this video, your dog saves you from a killer doll.
Oh, it's not good. Oh yeah, guard dog. Go check it out. See, we all need a dog in our lives. Dogs are so top tier. Oh, watch your paws, watch your paws. Don't want you to get hurt now. Don't lick the glass. What is wrong with you? Oh my God. Oh. Oh nah. Oh nah. Oh, he's trying to get him. Yo. Oh no. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody need a dog. Yeah, finish the kill. Yeah.
These are 5 of the scariest pictures ever taken. Number 5, a child's skull. Did you know you were born with both sets of teeth already there, ready and raring to go? Because I didn't. I never even considered what a child's skull might look like. Number 4, this picture of Japan Airlines Flight 123 moments before it collided with Mount Takamagahara. You can see in the picture the oxygen masks have already been deployed as the plane was experiencing a sudden decompression and is just moments away from hitting the mountain. This took the lives of 505 people on board. Pictures of the wreckage show you why. The plane was also manufactured by Boeing, which is also a company that I have nothing bad to say about. Number 3, a person's central nervous system and their brain. This image is the core of what you are. A brain and a long arm that controls a fleshy man. Number 2, this picture of Bud Dwyer moments before taking his own life on live television. So the story of this one is he'd been convicted of bribery charges during his time as the treasurer and was facing a prison sentence. And throughout the whole trial, he said, "I'm innocent," and he rolled with that till the very end, but the verdict wasn't in his favor. As he was now facing a prison sentence, he took his own life during the press conference. Before I get to number 1, if you like fucked up shit like this, please drop me a follow. But number 1, a Viet Cong tunnel. This photo shows a tunnel rat exploring holes between the different floors of a Viet Cong tunnel. Navigating these holes was some of the most dangerous conditions you could ever be in because you can never ensure that waiting below wasn't a trap or that there weren't any enemies waiting for you.
I knew the house was haunted. All I had to do was walk in it. We just had to find the source.
My mother did an inordinate amount of historical research on the house. And the reason that she did was not only was she fascinated with the fact that we were living in a 1736 house, but she also knew by the time that we started to see multiple spirits in the house, she wanted to know who it was. And that's when we learned about Bathsheba Sherman.
We wanted to get deeper into this case, yes. We definitely we went up there so many times to try to find the help, to really try to find it for them. But it was very sad.
I told her about some of the things that had happened. I woke to the smell of smoke in my bedroom. And then there was Bathsheba. This is when she put the curse on me. What she said at the last of it is, "Next time we meet, ye too be dead."
The spirit that was most threatening to her liked to manifest with fire.
In that house, we had much happiness and many happy times together, but we had horrible things happen too. Logic tells you that something that is immaterial that is a shadow, there's a mist, that's a wind that passes by you and lifts your hair, cannot really hurt you. I still feel threatened. I feel threatened. I don't know that I'll even be willing to see the film. In fact, I doubt very much that I will be willing to see the film for the same reason I'm unwilling to ever go back to the house, especially to ever go inside the house again. I never would.
4 kids that
Yeah.
survived 40 days in like the deadliest jungle, the Amazon rainforest. This was all because they said a duende helped them.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so listen. So there was 4 kids on the plane.
Yeah.
A mother and a pilot.
Yeah.
So they were flying over the Amazon rainforest,
Mm.
and suddenly the plane crashed into the middle of the jungle.
Mhm.
Right? The 4 kids survived. Mom and pilot dead.
Shit.
The kids ranged from, I think it was the oldest was 14, 9, 4, and there was a 1-year-old.
Damn.
So imagine 40 days. You know what the Amazon rainforest has? Jaguars, spiders,
Poisonous shit,
anything,
man.
everything, right? So everyone's saying that the search team went out. They found clues of like diapers, baby bottles, but they couldn't find them because it's like the duende took them in, helped them survive. These kids in like one of the, you know, it's deadly.
Yeah.
And then as soon as like the rescue team came, they got sent off.
This teenager accidentally admitted to killing people to the police while he was playing a video game. A gamer known as Elijah was having a normal day while he was playing on Rainbow Six Siege. The game is described as an online tactical shooter video game. Unfortunately for Elijah, he accidentally pocket dialed 911 while talking on his headset. As he told his friends, "I just killed 2 people," the operator mistakenly thought he was admitting to a double homicide. He carried on playing, having no idea that the authorities were listening in. Within minutes, officers swarmed his house. Elijah had heard the dog barking, so he went outside to see what the noise was. He was met with an officer pointing a gun at him and was obviously completely shocked. He immediately started to try and explain, stating, "I was playing the game and I butt dialed the phone, that was my bad." Reluctantly, Elijah had to call his mum, who had no idea what was going on, and she was at work. He had to explain to her why there was loads of police outside the house questioning him.